Some big changes are happening behind the scenes at the White House. This is from Politico. They say, after he lost his re-election bid in November, Donald Trump immediately told allies he planned to run for president again in 2024, preparing to announce as soon as Inauguration Day. He began backing off the idea after learning that running would require him to release a new round of financial documents that would make him vulnerable to his ongoing criminal and civil investigations and lawsuits, according to two Republicans close to Trump. Then came last week. A growing number of Republicans hold Trump responsible for inciting the deadly riots inside the U.S. Capitol Wednesday. The clashes came hours after they blamed Trump for a pair of losses in Georgia that will leave the Senate in Democratic control. In interviews, more than half a dozen Republicans who had supported or worked for Trump say the president isn't likely to run again, though he may tease it. If Trump changes his mind again and chooses to run, some said they would urge him not to, while others hope he'd be talked out of it. That's fascinating. So the reasons are twofold. He backed off the idea because it would require him to release a new round of financial documents that would make him vulnerable to ongoing criminal and civil investigations and lawsuits. So there are legal issues now. He's in too deep, right? And he doesn't want to give his enemies, including the DA in New York, who's really looking into his businesses, he doesn't want to give them any more ammunition. So kind of trying to protect his own butt and stay out of what could be very serious trouble. That's one reason why he's backing off of the 2024 idea. But also, yes, there's a realization that his own party's turning on him in D.C. He had them kind of fall in line for a long time. He had some sort of message discipline that would keep him in line if he launched an attack on one of the Republican politicians. Last thing they want is their career ruined by a midnight tweet from Donald Trump. But now what happened is the aura of invincibility is going away. So you lost the White House. You lost the runoffs in Georgia. So now the Democrats have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Now conventional wisdom is starting to be, this guy's toxic, this guy's trouble. He's an electoral liability. He's an electoral liability. And even Mitch McConnell is understanding that now. So what are you going to do in a situation like that? You have no allies. You alienated everybody. You turned on Mike Pence, who was the most loyal person on planet Earth to you, Don. He was so incredibly loyal every single step of the way, and you turned on Mike Pence. So you're done. You're donezo. Wrap it up, skis. It's over. And there's even a sense of realization in his inner circle that he's going out with a whimper. So, I mean, listen, those are legit reasons to think maybe 2024 is not a good idea. Because, yeah, just so everybody understands, he's incredibly corrupt, and Trump and his family have made a tremendous amount of money from being in the White House. Okay? We learned this through leaks recently. What did we learn? That, you know, Trump, it was Jared and Ivanka or something, made $130 million or thereabouts for the first few years of Trump's time in office. Trump was illegally doing write-offs and just giving the money to Ivanka, basically, but he was writing it off from his taxes. He would overvalue his assets when discussing them, but undervalue them when it came time to pay taxes. So he was basically committing tax fraud. You know, there are financial connections, questionable, sketchy financial connections in terms of Saudi Arabia, in terms of Israel. And then I'm sure there were favors done as a result of that, you know? In the case of Saudi Arabia, he's taken money through his hotel, and then he's given them a multi-billion-dollar weapons deal as they're committing a genocide in Yemen. So we aid and abet a genocide so Donald Trump can make more money through his DC hotel. There's a lot of sketchy stuff. And in terms of the businesses, a lot of sketchy stuff. And so if he has to release more financial documents, he doesn't want to shoot himself in the dick. He doesn't want to do that. So he's worried for that. And he's also worried because this was an instance where he just went too far, man. Only 8% of the country supported what happened on Capitol Hill. 8%. And Donald Trump was speaking out of both sides of his mouth and sort of egging them on and cheerleading them a little bit. And you went too far, dog. You went too far. And so now, funny enough, I actually did think that this time it's different, and like, this is actually the perfect way to just end that Trump era. Goes out exactly like this, where everybody sort of realizes, it was clear for a long time that this guy wasn't fit to be in the White House, but this is just like the perfect ending where it's like, it's just so obvious and so clear now. And when only 18% of his own party even supports what happened on Capitol Hill. So it's just the perfect way to go out with a whimper. And the rest of Republicans in D.C. have turned on him. He has no allies left. He turned on Pence. And now, previously I would have said, in 2024, if Trump runs, he's going to win the primary, for sure. Now I don't even know if I believe that. I think that it would actually be a race now if he were to try to get involved in 2024. It's not a layup for Trump to win because he's alienated everybody that's not already deeply in his cult. And even though he's got 20, 25, maybe 30% max, that's really not that much, man. It's really not that much. So anyway, the fever may have finally broken, and we may be in a position where we're seeing the last of Donald Trump. Just the fact that he has the wherewithal to understand. I could be in serious legal trouble if I run again and have to release more financial documents. And also, even my closest allies are now saying don't run in 2024, so maybe I won't do it. The fact that there's a recognition and an acknowledgement of that is pretty much everything, That alone might be game, set, match. So, here we are. It seems like he's going out like he came in, which is just absolutely chaotic, insane, and mayhem-inducing.